We are what we think about. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's a pretty simple concept. It basically means that you are destined to become what you're always thinking about. And I have nothing left because I died last time. Right, okay, to get more specific, if you're constantly thinking about the fact that you're a failure and you will never amount to anything, you're going to become a failure, and you will not amount to anything. It's a pretty simple mathematical equation. I've noticed that this is true with me as well. There have been times in my life where I don't believe in myself in a way that is very detrimental to my overall existence, and right now is one of those times. I'm not gaining very much ground in terms of success in my life right now, if that makes any sense. And it hurts. It hurts to think about because part of me feels like I should have been successful in many endeavors a lot earlier. YouTube, for example. I've had a different YouTube channel other than this one for many, many years now, and it never really took off. The reality of it not taking off is more of me just not being consistent and efficient, just being lazy about it, treating it like a hobby, and it never became a career. So having that experience, right? Having watched many of your mentors, never mind becoming successful but also falling from grace in the same amount of time that you just basically stayed at the same place you've been, is kind of disheartening, right? There's not much you can really do about that. You can't really be jealous of people that succeeded in a different timeline than yours because it doesn't really help you, right? Those people had a different timeline. You never saw their work they did behind the scenes. You always think that everyone has it easy, but unless you actually look at what has gone through their heads and through their lives, you'll never know. But this is especially true. Right? If you tell yourself that you're not going to succeed, you're not going to succeed. It all starts in the mind. The biggest battle that humans have these days is with their own minds. Hell, my biggest enemy is myself. And I've noticed that over the course of many, many years, I really need to actually start doing things on these playthroughs. Like, I actually have been doing nothing for 3 episodes. Okay, let me see. Alright, today's task is I'm going to kill some animals. I have to set a task for myself, otherwise, I'm not going to do it. I don't even want to know the statistics of how long people just sit in their own heads and think about how they're not succeeding in life or how they're just putting themselves down. I know that a lot of men, especially, I'm certainly this way, we tend to put the fault on ourselves a lot, no matter what the case may be. You could be a single firefighter, right, against the biggest fire of your life, and because you can't put it out by yourself, you might think that, oh, this is your fault. And then you go into a state of thinking that you're never going to do it, you're never going to be able to succeed, and yada, yada, yada. The truth is you can fool yourself into succeeding. And what I mean by that is that if you believe in something hard enough, you'll actually start to believe it's true. It's the same case with liars. People that lie about things a lot also have this issue. If you tell a lie 1,000, 10,000 times, you're honestly going to start believing your own lies. I don't know, I'm sure that there's some study that's been done about that, but you can go figure that one out for yourselves. There's a lot of cows here. Okay, I'm going to slaughter all of them. But think about that. Think of the concept of telling yourself a lie 10,000 times. Your brain will eventually believe said lie. So why can't that be true with a lie? Let's call it a lie, right? Let's call it the lie of you succeeding in life. You might tell yourself, I'm going to be a billionaire by the time I'm 25. And if you repeat that to yourself enough times during the day, you're going to start kicking your head as to why it hasn't happened yet. And when you start kicking your head hard enough, you'll figure out why and what you're doing right and wrong. When that light bulb of what you're doing right and wrong starts hitting, that's when your lie starts to become a non-lie. Think about it. Take any goal you have, any goal. I'm talking about any literal, it could be the simplest thing to the most insane thing. I have a prime example of this, actually. So in the United States, we have this thing called the SAT. The SAT is a standardized test that a lot of kids take during high school so that they can determine how ready they are for college and stuff. It's a stupid combination of math and English literacy questions that are, in most cases, impossible to answer unless you're a freaking genius at a lot of things. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the SAT goes from a score of 0 to 1600. I took this exam 3 different times, and the first couple of times I got 1200 and 1250. I think that was my big change. Now, with 1200 and 1250, I wasn't getting any scholarships for college, I wasn't doing great things. My goal was to get a merit scholarship for college. My goal was to be able to go to college and not be in millions of dollars of debt at the end like everybody else in this country. So anyway, I proceeded to take the SAT twice, and both of those times, I was nervous as hell, of course, because the SAT is one of those tests that, for no reason, measures how good you are at being smart or whatever. But I digress. So I take it those 2 times, and I get the score I get, and it's like, it's okay, whatever, did my best. It got to the point where, you know what? I'm going to take it one more time. Now keep in mind this was the last time I took it. I was pretty much accepting the fate of 1200. I didn't really care. Of course, I continued to study for it, but I believed, I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter. I don't care. My mindset is just that I know I'm smart enough. I know I can do it. I know that wherever I'll go for college, I'll be successful, and if I don't get the merit scholarship there, I'll get it elsewhere. I go in that 3rd time, and as I'm taking this test, come on, creeper boy, there you go. So as I'm taking this test, I see that I have this weird sense of clarity, this weird sense of it was like an anxious clarity. I was just so comfortable in my element. I was so ready for it, and I just took that test, and it felt like a breeze. It felt like the biggest breeze known to man. I'm like, you know what? If this feels like such a breeze, I'm going to kick ass right now. The feeling of just clarity and readiness was something I had never felt before when taking a test, and guess what? I scored 1390. Now, once again, for those of you who don't understand, going from 1200 to 1390 is quite a feat. It's one of those things that you don't ever expect. My mother, in fact, jumped out of bed in the morning when she saw my test result and screamed at me because I had finally gotten in a bracket of scoring where I would be able to get scholarships for college. And now you might say, well, of course, you studied more, you took the time to come back and be better, and you made it. Oh, okay, then, there's a lot of people after me. Yes, that's true. I did, of course, study. I did, of course, do all the necessary work that I had to, but the reality is my mindset was what saved me that day. My mindset of, I can do this. I don't care, it's fine, it'll work out, that was the mindset that saved me that day. Because I was so confident in my abilities, I was looking around me at everyone else taking that test and thinking, look at how anxious they are about making or breaking the score, and I'm not, because I've already been here and I've done this, right? That mindset, one of my friends used to say this term a lot, he would call it being the peak mental athlete, and that was peak mental athleticism right there. And I'm not telling you this to flex on my damn test-taking scores, but that's what it took, a mindset that you can do it, a mindset of things will work out in the end. So do yourself a favor, adapt that mindset when you've put in the work and the hours. Because trust me, if you do what you need to do and then allow yourself to believe in yourself, no matter what the case may be, you will succeed, my friends. You will succeed. Now, let's explore the idea of success further. Success, as defined by society, often comes with a checklist, career achievements, financial stability, social recognition, and so forth. But what if we challenged this conventional notion? What if we redefine success as the continuous journey of growth, learning, and self-discovery? In this view, success becomes less about the destination and more about the experiences along the way. Consider how often we measure ourselves against others. Social media exacerbates this tendency, showcasing curated glimpses of people's successes, making it easy to feel inadequate. We might find ourselves scrolling through endless feeds of achievements, relationships, and lifestyles, all while our internal dialogue becomes a chorus of self-doubt. This is where the power of our thoughts becomes critical. By consciously choosing to focus on our own progress, no matter how small, we begin to cultivate a more positive self-image. Practicing gratitude can significantly shift our mindset. Taking time each day to reflect on what we are grateful for can help counterbalance negative thoughts. Gratitude encourages us to acknowledge our accomplishments and the support we've received from others, reminding us that we are not alone in our journeys. Furthermore, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, whether that be friends, mentors, or uplifting content, can create an environment where we feel encouraged to pursue our goals rather than hindered by negativity. It's important to remember that setbacks are a natural part of growth. Each failure or roadblock is an opportunity for learning. When we encounter difficulties, instead of internalizing them as evidence of our inadequacy, we can view them as valuable lessons. This perspective shift can be revolutionary. Rather than asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" Another crucial aspect of our mindset is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and keep going in the face of adversity. Developing resilience takes time and practice, but it begins with our thoughts. We can start by reframing challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. Each time we face a difficulty, we can ask ourselves how we can approach the situation differently or what skills we can develop to better equip ourselves for future challenges. In conclusion, the phrase, "We are what we think," is not just a simple affirmation, it's a profound reminder of the power our thoughts hold over our lives. As we navigate our journeys, let's strive to be mindful of our internal dialogues, nurturing thoughts that encourage growth and self-acceptance. We can rewrite our narratives and reshape our futures, one thought at a time. By believing in ourselves, embracing our journeys, and learning from our experiences, we can manifest the successes we desire.